All right, welcome to the fourth and final game of the evening. Up this time is Blight Night. Blight Night, the shadows whisper secrets you were never meant to hear. Step into Blight Night, a retro survival horror where the past won't stay buried. Relive the chilling VHS era terror of the 1980s where every sound makes you question if you're truly alone. Um, so, couple of notes before we get into the review proper. First of all, uh, the demo on the Steam page is currently broken.
Oh, is this my
Um,
cue?
yes,
Loading up the demo, I have a box that says error. Data folder not found. Application folder, and it's my Steam directory to the Blight Night demo folder. There should be Blight Night demo underscore data folder next to the executable, and then just terminates.
yes. So not exactly sure what the problem is there, but it's a problem and either needs to be fixed or the demo needs to be pulled because otherwise, well, this is just a bad look.
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, we also have an AI generated content disclosure. The developers describe how their game uses AI generated content like this. Two music tracks accompanying the in game radio were created using generative AI. And believe me, you can tell because it's got the problems that AI generated shit usually has. Everything just sounds off because you're listening to something that a computer rhythmically cobbled together.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's like, don't do this. Like I know this isn't like they used AI as a core functionality
Mm-hmm.
or for the graphics or even like for the main sound effects.
There's other like music and stuff that's not AI generated, right?
Yeah, like open source as well. Like
Yeah. See, my
even
issue would
cloud.
be if somebody lost their job because of an AI. Like, instead of
Yeah,
having a composer or whatever make music, they decided to say, screw it, let's save some money and have a bot
What,
make
like an
it.
artist?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, like even if you don't have the funds to finance a composer or buy a song, there's royalty free options out there.
It
You know,
depends what you're doing, because some of them you can't use that for commercial work.
right? But that's not my point.
Mhm.
Especially considering what this game is going for. Um,
Or, like, if this was in early access and it was like, hey, yeah, this is a placeholder, we have our composer working on stuff, we just need something to fill a hole, that's fine. You know?
I guess, but
It's the
no,
closest to fine we can get, as long as, oh, we decide to replace our composers and all our artists with generative AI, puts up
yeah,
two deuces and walks out.
yeah, and I do know the story behind the development of this game, as it is one of those solo dev affairs, like one of those
Hmm.
actual, like one person spent 8 years working on this,
Hmm.
sometimes on the side, sometimes full time. Um, you know, it's a story that we frequently have on our program
Hmm.
during, interview sessions.
Right.
So we certainly understand the pressures of solo dev, but, you know, we here um, don't really support AI.
Hmm.
Like, believe me, I'm aware of our own, well, not our own uses, but just kind of things that were forced on us,
Like,
weren't
the
they?
closest I'll go is a placeholder because something is being currently worked on and you want to get it out and tested something. Well, the more permanent stuff is currently in the works. That's about as close as I'll go to being okay with AI.
Mm. It's like, no, is that disqualifiable to the game? Potentially. Like, if your stance is fuck AI, then yeah, just X this one out entirely, because
Mm-hmm.
by its own admission, it uses generative AI. I mean, it's not the first game that we've covered this year that has been infested with the technology.
And it's only going to get worse from here, lads.
Right. Like, I'm just glad it's not as prevalent. We're not getting like a game a week that has AI in some capacity
We're
yet.
not delving the Switch eShop right now. Oh, God.
Yeah. Um, but this is a problem nonetheless. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
but it's like, you know, outside of a totality against generative I can't find the use here completely disqualifying,
Mm-hmm.
because it's if you want to go on a crimes scale, this is like a misdemeanor.
If that, yeah.
At, because it's a couple of throwaway tracks, um at best, um versus some core component, big or small,
Mm-hmm.
but it is there. um but this is also kind of how the real world works.
Right.
Yeah. Being didactic about things um isn't practical either. Anyway, so ranting about AI over, how is the game itself? Well, uh it's functional. Like,
Mm.
it definitely sets out what it wanted to do
Just looking at
on.
the trailer footage here, it kind of looks like if you crossed either GTA 1 or 2 with um like Resident Evil.
I'd go more like Days Gone.
I've never played Days Gone, so I wouldn't know that frame of reference.
uh, Fair enough, but that's a good way of putting it. Like, it's a top down-ish. um I hesitate to, like, RPG. It's
Mm.
got RPG elements. Like, it's got the numbers, not just in terms of you have stats, basic stats, but they are there. But you don't gain levels, you don't get experience. So
Yeah,
I'm
looking at
not
the
really.
Steam tags, it has a Metroidvania in there, so I'm guessing that's how you get your upgrades.
Okay, no, it's not a fucking Metroidvania.
Okay, well, that's just what the Steam tags are.
Yeah, it's like, no, like, it's got mission based objectives. Um,
Mm.
that, like, you will go out and you will go do a thing, and that's not necessarily an upgrade either. Like,
Mm-hmm.
yes, like the I want to say what should have been the ending mission of Act One, but is like actually the opening mission of Act Two, is getting out of the starting area. Um, like, that was a weird pacing choice,
Mm.
because like, the logical break there was stopping the fire, getting into the sewers, and escaping the city. Uh, but no, it's like the reveal that you have to go into the sewers by extinguishing the truck that's on fire is the act break. I know it's a minor point. It's just it's weird enough to bring up. But yeah, this game isn't really a Metroidvania. Like not how we frame what a Metroidvania is. I know that's one of those definitions that can be bent and flexed to the point where Batman Arkham Asylum is a Metroidvania. I guess in the broadest of strokes,
But at
yes,
the
I can
same time,
see.
if somebody said that to you in your physical presence, they might get a fist to the jaw.
No, no, I'm just like I just shake my head a bit. I'm like, like I've played Arkham Asylum. I've beaten Arkham Asylum. I could see where they were coming from, but I wouldn't necessarily agree to it. It's like, it's got the broad rogue elements. It's like it's got these things that ostensibly make this genre definition, but no further. This game doesn't even have that. Like your upgrades are weapons. Like your upgrades are a pistol versus a Mac 10, which is pretty standard action game stuff. It's not a Metroidvania.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, because this is a zombie game, using bullets is not necessarily the best course of action. Like, because in case you've somehow avoided the zombie tropes, which is an impressive feat, actually.
I
Unless
commend
you're
you and wish to join you underneath your rock.
not so much now, but like, a few years ago, dear God,
Mm-hmm.
zombies were just overexposed, oversaturated. Every other game either it was the focus of zombies, or had a zombie-like creature, or had a zombie mode in it. Like, but getting back to what I'm trying to convey here is if you use bullets, they generate sound. And
Mm-hmm.
if you generate sound, that means all of the zombies are going to start coming towards you. It's generally why firing a gun is a bad idea in a zombie movie. As far as
Mm-hmm.
zombie games go, it depends on the game. Like Resident Evil never really got concerned about acoustics. Like if you shoot a
Mm-hmm.
zombie, more zombies are going to show up.
Yeah, if you suddenly whip out the rocket launcher and go full psycho on them, I think it only affects the one specifically in the room, but like outside of that, you're good.
But if you're in any sort of survival game like DayZ and you fire off a gun, you're probably zombie chow if you're not careful,
Mm-hmm.
because yeah, that's going to bring every zombie within pretty large radius towards you. Same-ish principle here. Just it's not that many zombies. Basically, your best course of action is to do the survival horror routine. Either avoid the zombies, or you have a baseball bat and you use that to whack them. But
with the commensurate increased risk of letting them get way closer to you than bullet range.
that's one of them, but that's not the big risk. Because this game decided to unearth one of the worst tropes of 2000s gaming: the stamina bar.
Oh, I was gonna say weapon durability, but yeah, that's also bad.
I was going to say having a limited number of saves based on items you find in game.
Those are from the 90s.
Sir,
when
I do not know decades.
I barely know what time is anymore.
Well, that's why I'm the leader. Like, anyway, getting back to my rant here, because dear God, this pissed me off. Because you have a stamina bar and it's tied to a couple of things. It's tied to your running, and much like in the fucking 2000s, you can't run more than 3 fucking seconds. Like you've got emphysema or something.
I mean, in fairness, I couldn't run, but also, the legs don't work.
Yeah, this is more shortness of breath issue. Like, this guy's been smoking 3 packs a day kind of lungs. This is a trope that was all over the fucking place in the 2000s. You had that stamina meter that ran out very quickly. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it, hate it, hate it, hate it. And I hate it here more because you know what they did? They tied it to your melee weapon.
Fine.
So every time
swinging the club takes stamina?
Yes. So if you've been going out for a short jaunt and you try to swing the bat, you are in very severe danger of running out of breath and just having the guy going. It sounds like that, and it's fucking awful. I'm like, and yes, it's all awful. Just some of the it's like, wow, you've taken some of the worst game design ideas of the past 20-25 years and you somehow made them worse. But you want to know the kicker? It didn't ruin the game. Because honestly, running wasn't that much faster. That's the other thing about jogging in the 2000s games. It wasn't actually all that useful in the first place. So you can actually get by on swinging your bat, stepping back, maybe jogging a bit. Like there's a pattern. And as far as multiple enemies, it's not that much worse. Honestly, maybe a bit tedious, but it's actually quite impressive that, these mechanics, while shitty, aren't shitty enough or central enough to completely ruin the game. Just almost ruin it. Like, that being said, like the actual combat, surprisingly not clunky. Like, it didn't go the full on, say, Silent Hill route where um like or Resident where you have to wind up your weapon to before, like there's a period of time. I suppose there is, but it's nowhere near as bad as actual. Like, anyway, outside of the whole stamina thing, I guess the biggest subjective detriment to this game is that whole chilling VHS era terror of the 1980s, i.e., this game looks like it was shot on Shitio. Like, I guess congratulations for capturing that aesthetic, but also you captured that aesthetic. This game, there's no other way to say it. It looks
Congratulations,
fucking
you've
ugly.
captured the aesthetic. Now, what are you going to do with it?
No, it's like the game looks fucking ugly, and not in a not just in like an artistic way. In a, I don't want to look at this anymore because it's so blurry and ugly and unpleasant to look at kind of deal. Which, once again, yeah, that does describe a shot on Shidio film. So, really, all that was missing was, having a blue filter to simulate that day for night bullshit that they have in a lot of those movies. Like, mm. Oh no, no, they did have that. This is later on. Anyway, so ultimately, would I recommend this game? No, I think I think I would ultimately say pass on this. Like, it's doing just enough to be competent. But the other thing is, it's a zombie game. We're not hurting for zombie game.
No, we are not. Be it modes or just full on games.
Yeah. It's like there are so many other places
Because,
you
like,
can get a zombie.
even you mentioned that this is like a fairly competent one, there are also a bunch of other more competent ones in the price bracket.
Yeah. It's a yeah. Speaking of which, this game also clocks in at $15.99. So it's way too expensive. Like, if you're going for shot on Shidio aesthetics, kind of need to have the price to reflect that, which is about half this. So no, like ultimately, um, uh, below par. Um, uh, another entry in a very still overexposed medium.
Mm-hmm.
You know, ju- just move on and go play Left 4 Dead or um, Daisy, or I could be here a while just rattling off zombie games in
Right.
various genres. I mean, if you want a really good hidden gem, Nation Red.
Mm.
Uh, played a lot of played the fuck out of that in 2011. Anyway, I think that'll about do it for this installment of the Fragments of Silicon reviews. So coming up on the week ahead, on Wednesday, June 11th, we'll be having our season finale as we'll be welcoming Bossy Pino of Bossy Pino. Uh, you know, we'll be talking about the game Muffles Life Sentence. Take back your identity in Muffles Life Sentence, a dark, quirky RPG set in a prison where inmates are remade to match their crimes. It's also worth noting that this is an episodic game as well. To wit, the third chapter just came out. We actually got a code for the second chapter. And by we, I mean I gave that to you. So you might want to make sure you have that installed. But beyond that, no MSP, no Friday show. After Wednesday, we are off until the end of June. We'll be coming in. We'll be coming back in on Sunday, June 29th. So, with that all in mind, until next time, I shall wish you good gaming.